when our mother remarried. And so we got married there, but we've been here for 34 years. And so next weekend will be 34 years.
Wow.
Anyways, my wife is a potter. She makes pottery, and she's very, very good, extremely skilled at it. And I'm just honored. Our house is full of beautiful pieces of pottery. It's like amazing. Every morning I have my mug. In fact, you'll see me sometimes on Zoom calls with mugs that she made. But I feel a little bit like that with the story of Oliabo. When my wife starts a piece of pottery, it's a piece of clay, and it's right there. And then as time goes on, she molds it, she shapes it, she keeps working on it, and then it becomes something very beautiful. But at first, it's a piece of clay. When my brother approached me, and back up just a little bit, we grew up in Canada with parents that were really involved in the health and wellness industry, okay? I don't know if you ever heard of a company called Nature Sunshine Products, but
Yeah.
you guys heard of that?
Yeah.
My father started the Canadian division of Nature Sunshine in the basement of our house, little country road out in the country, and my mother was an immigrant from Italy. You're going to hear about that because this is part of the story. This is a Mediterranean, I think it was you, Steve, or Lori, talking about the Mediterranean diet. This is really a Mediterranean diet story, but our marketing, of course, comes to Italy because of our mother. She was born in Treviso, Italy, northern Italy, just north of Venice. Immigrated after World War II to Canada. And my parents got involved in the health and wellness industry when I was about 4 years old. And so my dad started Nature Sunshine Canada. My mom owned a health food store, so we had it from all angles. I went one day, we had like sugar in the house and like sugar cereals or whatever all the kids like to eat. And then the next day, boom, gone. No more sugar in the house. No more white flour, no more anything. We just went full circle. I was like one of those weird kids that can say what Cascara Sagrada is and what is echinacea and what is, we learned about vitamin C. I know that everyone knows vitamin C now, but back in the 70s, nobody knew about vitamin C. I mean, that was a new thing. Linus Pauling was just starting to talk about it. So I tell you this because out of all the things I've taken, ginkgo biloba, vitamin, every single vitamin possible, echinacea, you name it. Our mother used olive oil. It was daily. She was Italian. But I didn't understand the benefits of it. I didn't understand how powerful it really is. You're hearing stories. Guys, these are the stories I'm hearing for the first time. I've heard Isaac's before. Well, part of it. I didn't hear the other part. And Angela, I haven't even heard your story until tonight. Like, I heard bits of it. So this is very new, but it was wonderful for me to sit because I'm going to tell you a little bit about the science of why you're hearing everything what you're hearing tonight. It's fascinating. I haven't done this yet before. Usually start at the beginning, tell the story, then go to the stories. But to hear that, I'm like, this doesn't surprise me. Because whether I'm here in Chicago, or whether I'm in Minnesota or Wisconsin, or tomorrow I'm going to be driving out to Nashville, Tennessee, and there's going to be a brand new group of people, and then Atlanta right after that, or whether I was in Fresno, I'm hearing the same stories, and guys, we're only 6 months old. And when I talk to people in Singapore, because we have business in Singapore, I'm hearing the same stories. How is this possible? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about why that's possible. And you might be thinking, but it's like this capsule, these capsules, what are you talking about? I'm going to open it up because I want everyone to have one when you come, when you leave tonight. How is it possible? How is it that you're taking this little thing where you're drinking some extra virgin olive oil, you're putting this flex on your, how is this possible? There's a lot of science behind this. And you might be thinking, it's too simple. I hope it's okay. I'm going to share a scripture from the New Testament. It's 1 Corinthians 1:27. I'll paraphrase it, because I don't have it off by heart, but they're basically saying something.
You better say it quick.
You better, I think he's agreeing with me. I hope he's agreeing with me. He's saying something like, God uses the simple things in life to confound the mighty and confound the wise. It's oftentimes, the foolish. Oftentimes the foolish things that confound the mighty and confound the wise. And I remember when my brother approached me about this idea of extra virgin olive oil. Again, it was that clay. Gordon calls me, he's like, this is what I think we should do. And I'm like, it's clay at the time. And then we start diving deeper. And our research says, okay, it only happened like 20 years ago that scientists started to, not even 20 years ago, they started to discover something in extra virgin olive oil. You don't have to remember this word, you can find it all over our website. This is a fascinating word. It's called oleocanthal.
Mm-hmm.
Oleocanthal. And the researcher that discovered it was in Sicily. They were doing olive oil tasting, and he said, did someone crush up ibuprofen and put it in here? And they laughed at him like, no, what are you talking about? He's like, no, that's what it feels like. We take ibuprofen, you just pop it in your mouth, you swallow it. But I guess if you crush it, I've never tried it, but I guess if you crush it, it gives you this burning sensation in the back of your throat. And a good extra virgin olive oil, if it's a proper extra virgin olive oil, you're gonna get a bit of almost like a cough at the back of your throat. And he said, that mimics ibuprofen. So if you Google that word, oleocanthal, you're gonna discover oftentimes, most often, and actually I just read a research article on it. Speaking of the Mediterranean diet, I have a little podcast on health and wellness, and I did one on Italy because success leaves clues, right? And Italy right now has the highest longevity in all of Europe. So why is that? Right at the top of the Mediterranean diet is extra virgin olive oil. Do you know that the average person in America, we're gonna all be thrown into this, and this is even a second generation Italian speaking to you. I was probably around this same statistic even with a mother who was Italian. We consume about 1 liter of extra virgin olive oil a year. If it's even real extra virgin olive, I think Steve, you're saying, even if it's real, because it's not. 70 to 80% is not real on the market. Hate to break it to you. That's the crazy statistic. In Italy, 14 liters on average they consume a year. Success leaves clues. We want to learn something from that, right? The Greeks even higher. They're 20. They're 20 liters a year on average. My cousin thinks it's laughable. She's like, I consume way more than 14 liters. Well, that's what I'm shooting for, by the way. You'll see why. Oleocanthal. It's so powerful. So as we start, so here's the piece of clay. It's this simple piece of clay, this almost foolish. We start to mold it a bit. We're like, oleocanthal. That's in a good extra virgin, just a good culinary extra virgin olive oil, okay? Well, then we discovered something called high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. See, the polyphenols that are found in this, oleocanthal is a polyphenol. In a good, all the studies that are out there, they're all done on a culinary extra virgin olive oil, every one of them. But what we put in here is something called high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. It just means the polyphenol count is that much higher. Somewhere like, this is, I don't know exactly, we're actually dialing into this deeper. I was on the phone this morning with our Italian counterparts. We're working on getting right down, oh, it's gonna be so exciting as the year goes on. We're gonna have some olive oil that's never come to the United States. It's like super exciting. But we're probably around 300 polyphenol count. That's pretty common. You don't wanna go much more than that for culinary because it's very bitter and it's not for our taste buds, I can tell you that. Italians don't want it either. So you want something that's a nice mild culinary for this. But what's in here is what's called high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, really high. This is the kind of stuff that you don't want to necessarily put on your salad. And we infuse it with rosemary. And you might wonder, why are you putting rosemary in that? Well, it's because our mother cooked with rosemary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the honest to goodness truth. She cooked with rosemary, she's since passed away. This is an homage to our mother. Say, hey, thanks, Mom, we love you. To Olio Bene. And so we put rosemary in there. Now you might be thinking, well, those 2 capsules, does that make any difference? It's about 1/3 to a 1/2 of a tablespoon of extra virgin oil, approximately. You know, there's a study out there. Now, I'm gonna just start popping around here. Now, we haven't heard a brain study here. We haven't had anyone giving a brain testimonial tonight. But you know, Harvard did a study. Look it up. In fact, just Google brain health, extra virgin olive oil, Harvard. Very fascinating. It's like 28 years with something like 90,000 Americans. Average age was 56. Went on for like 28 years. It was a long study. by taking just half a tablespoon, and the only difference was they tracked the people who took a half a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil a year. Half a tablespoon. And the statistic was 28% less likely of dementia-related death.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's almost what you're getting in this. Actually, if you count the fact that it's hyphenolic, I haven't done the exact calculations about that. Why wouldn't everyone want that? If it's just, and then it gets even higher. It's like 66% if you're consuming like 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons. I can't remember the number. Powerful stuff. Then what you have in here is this white capsule. See, again, the molding started happening a little bit more. Suddenly we're like, ooh, wait a second, hyphenolic, wait a second here. And the clay starts to form a little bit more. Then we're like, but there's leaf. There's a leaf with this tree. Now remember, these trees, everyone, I just want to remind us all, olive trees, we have olive trees that are around since before Christ, that are still producing fruit. I touched one. My wife and I were in Sicily last year, and our guide had nothing to do with anything. We were in this area. He's like, just touch this tree. We're like, why is he telling us to touch the olive tree? He says, we don't know how old this olive tree is. Somewhere between 1,500 to 2,500 years old. Still produces olives every year. They don't spray it with anything or nothing. It just keeps producing year after year after year. Success leaves clues. We can learn something from this tree. We can learn something from the olive tree derived goodness. The leaf has something, another polyphenol called alorapine and hydroxytyrosol, alorapine. Now this extract is powerful. Now I knew it was good for the immune system. I was aware of that. But if you were to take, let's say, just go downtown Chicago, line up 100 people, I bet you might find 1 or 2 that knows olive leaf extract's good for the immune system. You might. But then they know it's good for gut health. Studies upon studies upon studies on gut health. Who had the gut health? Right here, Lori. And extra virgin olive. So you see, it didn't surprise me when you said that. Because extra virgin olive oil, one of the greatest studies, and in fact, I encourage you all, don't just listen to me. Joe hanging out at the front here. I know I'm very handsome, but don't just follow me. Google it. Do your own research. Extra virgin olive oil and gut health. One of the greatest things that you can possibly do for your gut. And I understand your situation because I've had the same issue. I was not allowed to have antibiotics growing up. My parents were anti-antibiotics. And it was probably about 12 years ago, I hurt myself and I ended up getting I probably needed it, my gut's never been the same. I had to have it a couple times. It was like my gut rejected it completely, So I've fought for everything, and so I understand, and I've had similar situations. I have a similar story. My gut health is so much better. So I'm kind of super juicing it. I take 1 to 2 of these a day because of this, and I take 2 to 3 tablespoons a day. Take it on an empty stomach in the morning, and then throughout the day, just sprinkle on stuff, and then right before bed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm here to tell you, like, my gut is different. It's like it's not the same gut. And I don't know if you could put a price on that, honestly, everyone.
Mm-mm.
So, olive leaf extract, this alorapine, got studies on gut health, studies on skin health, studies on bone health, pretty substantial actually. Studies on brain health, anti-inflammatory studies, blood sugar studies. There was, yes. Again, doesn't surprise me to hear that, although I haven't. It was the first time I heard your story, And then we dove a little deeper. Again, the clay's starting to form a little bit, and we're like, did you know? Okay, so I'm tooling around on the website. I'm going to get to this one in a moment, this red capsule. We get this grapeseed extract from a group out of northern Italy. We've worked with them in the past. I'm tooling on their website to try to track down grapeseed extract. I'm like, You have an olive fruit extract? By the way, it is a fruit. If you're wondering, you're like, wait a second, this is a fruit? Yep, it's a fruit. They have a fruit extract called verbascicide. And so I asked him, he's like, I don't know, I've never sold it. I'm like, what do you mean you've never sold it? He's like, as far as I know, he's the salesperson for me. I said, I don't even know. I don't think anyone's ever bought it. One of our scientists discovered it. These guys have been around a long time. It's like one of our scientists, it just sits there on our website. Nobody's ever bought it. Well, I want to know about that one. So we put that in there too. So what you have here is the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. You have this one, it's called olivectin. We call it the proprietary blend of olive leaf and olive fruit extract. And verbascicide, by the way, all these studies I'm talking about just duplicated. So what you're getting is just this little packet of goodness that just keeps getting gooder and gooder, you know? And then we decided we wanted to get a little bit more of the Mediterranean story, as Lori was talking about, just a little bit more of that Mediterranean story. So we put grapeseed extract in there. Find me an Italian or Mediterranean family that doesn't consume. It's pretty hard. They consume grapes every day. It's just part of life. And oftentimes red wine. And lycopene, which comes from tomatoes. I don't think there was one day in my life growing up with an Italian mother that I didn't have tomatoes in one form or another. So when I hear stories about not peeing so much in that, that's lycopene. So us men, we need that. And everything.
Was that a universal sign for?
Well, yes, that too. And see, everything in and there's one thing that I've learned growing up around this industry. If there's such a thing as a PhD in being herbal gerbil, I got it. And is everything to do with our health comes down to inflammation of some sort, gut inflammation. We start to adjust that, the stuff that God put on this earth for us. And I'm going to tell you, this stuff is, magic starts to happen. We start to sleep better. Oh, I hope. Are you taking this? Okay, good. Just magic starts to happen. Possibly what you experienced too, Steve.
Amen.
Which, by the way, I'm hearing that more and more. So. And by the way, the sleep part, that's one of our biggest testimonials. People have no idea. They don't hear about it, they just start sleeping better. They're like, what? And sleep is absolutely key. No matter what we've done here on this earth, we cannot get away from the need to have to sleep. That doesn't change in evolution. We still need to sleep. God made us need to sleep to recharge ourselves. And so if we can get back to that, everything changes. Michelle,
yeah, can you expound on how it helps with inflammation in particular and bone health?
Inflammation in
Bone health.
bone health. Well, again, going to that oleocanthal, and then the oleocanthal that's found naturally in extra virgin olive oil, and particularly high phenolic, and then the olorapine that's found in the leaf extract. There are studies on bone health and olorapine, and I encourage you. You don't have to remember how to spell olorapine. Just put olive leaf extract in like Grok or ChatGPT and just find the studies. In fact, when I met you the next day, that when I was getting a ride from the airport, Suzanne, I don't know if you know her, but she picked me up.
Yeah.
She didn't even know what was going on. She started taking the product like, I don't know, a week before. And she says, is it possible that I'm feeling some joint relief? I don't even know. I'm just Liddy. Said, yeah, take this product, you know. So love Liddy. She's amazing. And then we ChatGPT'd it right there on the spot. It was very interesting. So I encourage you to do that. It started showing study after study after study, not just extra virgin olive oil, but olive leaf extract and olive fruit extract. It's very fascinating. So I'm glad that question came up because I encourage you to do it on your own. and you'll be absolutely shocked. Now, so that's kind of how this came about. Again, it started with a piece of clay and it just started forming, and that's where we came up with this idea to put it into an easy to consume packet. And I'll show you, I mean, I like to joke about this, but I've been taking herbal supplements since I was a child, so I kind of have like a black belt in taking supplements. But just rip it open. You might have to, you know, go one by one. Everyone's a little different, you know. But that's about as easy as it gets. And then, as I mentioned, I also take, and I do this on my own. This is my own personal. By the way, we weren't even going to sell olive oil like a culinary, but everyone started rushing to the store to buy extra virgin olive oil, and we thought, well, the problem is 70 to 80%. That's not my statistic. Just Google it. It comes up. Everyone talks about it. It's a dirty industry, sadly. You don't know what you're getting. By the way, another dirty industry, honey. Oh, broke my heart when I found that out. Health influencer I follow, he did a study. 2 out of the 10 that he tested were not even real honey. I'm like, oh, just broke my heart. But this is one of those ones. So we get this. This is sourced straight from Italy. It is bottled in the United States, but it's an Italian, certified Italian extra virgin olive oil, single source, meaning only from Italy. Okay? There's another little bit of secret. You want to get single source. So when you go to the health, any type of store, chances are you're getting not even pure extra virgin olive oil, but then you're going to get a little bit of Italian. Everyone wants Italian because that's the premium. You might get a little bit there, a little bit from Tunisia, a little bit from South America, multiple places in South. They just mix it all together because it's really expensive, first of all, in Italy, single source. Very complicated to do, trust me. I'm in the process of, actually, we're going to get to the point where we're bottling it in Italy, and we're going to be able to tell exactly the tree and the whole, like, branch to bottle, so to speak. We're getting real close to that. We're in our final little discussions, but that's tough. And the extra virgin olive oil that we'll get later this year, it's going to be so exciting. It'll have never been here in the United States. So we're getting real close to that. My cousin who lives there is helping me source that. So again, we started with this mold. It's just started to take form, and this is what it ends up being. And by the way, I want to pass this around. I want everyone to take one home. And so everyone grab one. I hope I have enough there. I want you all to take one with you. So again, starts to form this beautiful piece of pottery, and that's what we have there. And I want to give you my own testimony, okay? Because and this is very, very real experience that I've had. About this time last year, which is really when we started kicking this project into gear, I tore my meniscus playing hockey, my left meniscus. I still play hockey, I love it. I am from Canada, yes, that's not a stereotype, we all play hockey in Canada. By the way, I've always kind of admired the Chicago Blackhawks. You guys got a great team. Of course, I'm a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. But I tore my meniscus, and I've also broken both my legs and both my ankles in my life. This one is pretty bad. Both my legs and both my legs and both my ankles.
My daughter's in the hospital, she broke both her ankles.
Oh, bless her
I was
heart.
on my way to see her tonight, but she told me that well, she goes to me, so I'm
So painful.
So we have to talk after.
You give her a big hug from me. I understand. So I'm not, even with a mother and a father who were super anti-drugs, I kind of started to take ibuprofen quite a lot. And so I thought, when we started this project, we started all these different iterations of what I just passed around to you right now. A little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, kind of putting it together. And I thought, if I'm going to give this a fighting chance, I'm going cold turkey off of ibuprofen. And I run a lot. I do Ironman competitions, which is 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a marathon, 26.2 miles.
Mm.
I was actually training for one last year when I tore my meniscus, so it didn't end up happening. But I've kind of gotten used to just a lot of pain. I golf, and I walk the golf course when I golf, but I had to stop doing that because my legs would hurt, my ankles would hurt. And so I started just taking that. And I started to feel like, wait a second, like I'm feeling better. Like, what's going on here? And then Ashley, one of our partners, amazing skincare formulator. She says, well, if there's oleocanthal, this oleocanthal in the high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, what if we put it, oh, thank you so much. What if we put it on topically? What would happen? By the way, I want you to supercharge things. I'm gonna give you a couple more here.
There you go.
I want you to have a good
All right.
experience. So we want to, what if we put it topically? So we found, Ashley did, I give her the credit, she started playing around in her lab. She's a organic skincare formulator. She starts playing around with this. This is like a year ago. She starts coming up with these ideas, giving us these little bottles like this. You try this, try this, try this. It's so fun. So I started using this, all the different formula. And this one started off with a little bit of clay too, and it started to form and started forming. So we add a really high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. We're talking like, I don't know what it is, 1,300 polyphenol count or something.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely expensive. There's not much of it out there, okay? Just so you know. When it comes to high phenolic like that, it's like very little of it out there. Nobody wants to consume it because it's so bitter. And then we put mangosteen pericarp oil in there, which you might know about that. Mangosteen pericarp oil in it, which is also very great anti-inflammatory, has something called xanthones in it. And then we put other things in there. She puts like frankincense, and she puts the extracts, the leaf extract and the fruit extract, and squalene. There's two sources of squalene, one's from olive oil and one's from shark liver. We of course use the olive oil. And melaleuca is in there too, from melaleuca. So you'll smell that. And I'm here to tell you guys, I don't even know how to describe it. When you experience that in the meeting, like I use this every day now. It is every single day. I put it on. Even the other day, guys, I couldn't have done this like 3 days ago. I hurt myself. I was up in Canada over the weekend for Father's Day weekend. We went up to see my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my son met us up there, and his wife. I don't know, I pulled my shoulder or something. It was so bad that I was doing this literally 2 days ago. I just rubbed this stuff in for 2 solid days. Rub, yes, please. And then I had a weight workout yesterday morning with my boys, and it was still a little sore, but by this morning I was like, okay. I'm telling you guys, it's just, yes.
Is that good for fibromyalgia?
Well, fibromyalgia is a little different. It could. Depends on how you're affected with fibromyalgia. Everyone's affected in different ways. I haven't heard that story. I hope it does. If it works for you. But I'm going to pass this around. I just primed the pump, so to speak. And you're welcome to try it. Do know that it is an oil, so it could get a little greasy. But I'm going to just pass it around. You're welcome to put it on your. I like the smell of it. I use it on my ankle. This is my ankle that I've hurt so bad. I put it on my knee. I put it on my shoulder. Like I said, I really put a lot on for the last couple of days, and rubbed it into my shoulder. So. Again, it's got oil, so just note, I don't know if there's any napkins back there.
Yes, there are. There are napkins. And there's bread to taste the olive oil.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
I've got olive oil for you to taste too, so.
Yeah.
So I really love this product, Flex. It's made a big difference for me. And I mean that sincerely. I've taken everything. There's nothing, guys, I have